Hello guys, and welcome to another reading diaries video where I show you guys what I realistically read in a week as a productive uni student. Last week I had a really good reading week. I read Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation, I read Mission Save the Hunter, which was such a good book, literally read it in one day, and I started reading Borrow My Heart, which I am currently reading. I'm not really sure if I'm liking this book, if I'm being honest. I like Casey West, I love the romance books that she writes, but I don't really think that this one is hitting. I don't really like the premise of this book because basically the main girlie, she pretends to be the girl that the male lead meets online because there's this whole thing of his best friend going to socially humiliate him if the girl doesn't show up. It's kind of like an embarrassment thing. I don't really like that trope because obviously she's lying to him and she wants to tell him the truth, but she keeps putting it off because she actually likes him, and you know, it's always hard for them to tell the truth. I just think that the progression of the relationship is too quick. I also started reading House of Salt and Sorrows, which this is a 12 Dancing Princess retelling. I don't even know the original story of 12 Dancing Princesses. I literally just only know the Barbie movie. That is where I'm getting my source from, but I love the Barbie movie so much. And this one is more of, I guess, like a darker vibe. I really wanted to read a fantasy book, which is why I picked this one. But honestly, I feel like I will be a little bit bored while reading this book, and I jumped ahead to read the ending because sometimes I like doing that. And I don't know if I'm entirely satisfied with the ending or the way that it is written, so I don't really know if I'm going to continue on with this book, but I'm going to give it a try. If not, I want to start reading The Darkest Minds. I want to reread this because I watched the movie recently on Netflix, which the movie is so good. I love it so much. Just the whole premise of this world, I love it. I've been wanting to reread it for a really long time, so if I'm not really enjoying the books that I'm currently reading, I do want to start that one. After that clip, I decided to start reading The Darkest Minds because I was over the two books that I was reading. The Darkest Minds is about an illness that spreads to children, and if it doesn't kill you, you get awakened with powers. There's different ranks, which includes green, blue, yellow, red, and orange. Orange is the most dangerous as they can control people's minds, and obviously our main character is an orange. And basically these kids get rounded up and thrown into a camp, which is absolutely wild. The next day I had a lecture, and during I swear this whole day I just dissociate because I don't want to listen. Also because it's my last week of uni, I'm just tired of it. So I just spent the whole entire time playing Hay Day and reading. I continued on with reading Borrow My Heart because I only had like 25 minutes left to read, so I knew I would be able to finish it during this lecture and get through it quickly. I'll be honest with you guys, I did not like this book, which I will explain later on. I left uni after my first lecture because I was just not feeling good. I don't know why, but my stomach really hurted and I felt like I was having chest pains and I wanted to throw up. I was feeling very nauseous. The only thing that I ate today was milk, and I had a few bites of a tuna sandwich, so I don't know if it was because of that. But I left early in my class and I was gonna go to my next lecture, but I just couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home because I rather not suffer when I'm outside, and I'm feeling a lot better. And during my lecture, I did end up finishing Borrow My Heart because it was a very short book. I think I had 25 minutes left to read, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish it. Unfortunately, I didn't like this book that much. I think I expected a lot more from it, especially because it's written by Casey West, who is one of my favorite romance authors, but I just didn't like the overall plot and just the progression of the romance and the characters. I found the characters really annoying, and the romance was even more annoying because it just happened too quickly. They met each other, they were instantly attracted to each other. There was no development of their relationship. Usually her books kind of give me butterflies in my stomach feeling. I really like how they're extremely fluffy and everything, but this one, it just really annoyed me, and to be honest, I didn't actually even want to read it. I would have DNF'd it if it was a lot longer, but because it was short, I was like, you know what, I can finish it. The whole book, the romance and everything, just really annoyed me, which made it very difficult for me to read, and which is why I didn't really like it that much, which again is very disappointing because I was really excited to read this and I had quite a lot of expectations for it. So I did read a little bit more of House of Salt and Sorrows yesterday, and I started reading The Darkest Minds. I haven't read that much of it, so I'm gonna try and get more into it. As of right now, I am kind of in the mood for an urban fantasy rather than a high fantasy, so I think after this I'm gonna try and search for more urban fantasy books, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do with House of Salt and Sorrows. I feel like I could potentially end up DNFing that book, but We'll see. I'm gonna try and read a little bit more of it because I did read, I think, like 5% more of it from yesterday. You know what the worst feeling is? It's thinking that you can chill, that you're finished with all your exams and then all of a sudden you hit with another one. To be honest, I deluded myself because I knew that we are having exams soon, so I knew that there was going to be more assignments because I was like, how come this one is due before the exam period? And now I realize why, because we have another assignment but they just didn't release it until now. So now I have this assignment for this certain elective and I'm like, oh, I gotta finish it, but it's due I think next week, so it isn't too bad. But then next week is our study period and then the week after I think is when everything is due. And now I'm kind of stressing because I know that one of them has a lot of research and it's a lot of writing and I don't even know what the other one is. I don't know what the questions are. So I'm working on this one, which is basically like a journal entry of this particular topic or whatever, and I've been working on it for a couple of days and this is the one that I've been procrastinating on and that I've been wanting to work on but I just haven't been productive on. And I'm gonna give myself a time limit. I'm gonna try to finish it either tomorrow or by Thursday, hopefully just by this week. I want to finish it by this week. I mean, I'm already, I think, maybe halfway through it. I just don't really know what I'm writing because I'm just typing without even thinking or reading back on what I'm writing. However, I do think that the topic is interesting, which does make it a lot easier to go through. I don't really know because I want to play Genshin because I want to get the 500 Primo Gems for the Archon quest. There's just an event going on that I really want to play and I'm very scared that the time is going to be running up. But at the same time, I gotta do my assignment first so it feels like I actually have done something before I play. And then I also know that playing Genshin is going to take a really long time, and then I also want to read my book. And honestly, the things that I'm thinking of is not like very productive, but I don't know, I feel like the more that you need to do, the more lazy I honestly get. I'm also not the type of person who procrastinates because I get stressed really easily, which makes me want to do the work a lot more. But I think just I'm struggling because I feel like I'm getting burnt out and I feel like I'm already at the stage where I'm like, ooh, I'm almost finished, it doesn't matter anymore. And then I think, what happens if I fail an elective? And then that scares me and I have to keep pushing. Guys, I have finally finished using this thing, which is called Minyak Anin, and you basically use it whenever you have a mosquito bite, whenever you feel nauseous, if you have like an upset stomach, you use it and it makes your stomach feel really warm. It's kind of like Tiger Balm, but it's in this roller form and I feel like it's not as strong, not as messy. So I've been using this, I swear, for 7 years. I had this since I was a young child. I carried it around with me, especially because I get nauseous a lot. And finally, as of today, I have finally finished using this bottle. I just needed to share it because it's a momentous occasion because I've had this literally for so long, I think since I was a teenager back when I was in high school. And I'm in my last week of uni and I'm like 20 years old, so apparently it takes a while to finish. But luckily I do have more because this is a lifesaver. I went to uni for a 1-hour tutorial with a 2-hour commute ride, which just makes me so sad, but the trains were running really late today because they had an industrial action or something and I had to wait like 20 minutes for my train. I was really scared that I was gonna end up going to class late, but luckily I made it on time. I read a good chunk of The Darkest Mind and honestly, not gonna lie, I love dystopian urban fantasy kind of books like this. Just the idea of special kids with powers and the found family aspect, I love it so much. I want more books like this. I've been searching for more urban fantasy books like this, but I don't really know, none of them is popping up besides the ones that I've already read. But Liam and Ruby, I swear everything, all the interactions literally make me blush and giggle. I literally read the other 2 books in the series just because I wanted to see all the scenes between Liam and Ruby, because just seeing their relationship develop, it's very interesting because it is somewhat insta-lovey, but I don't know how to describe it. The way that it is written is so good. I haven't read anything of House of Salt and Sorrows. I literally mentioned this so many times. I'm like, I think I'm gonna DNF it, but I haven't fully made up my mind. Let me give you guys a breakdown of my reading this week because unfortunately I don't think it's been the best. I'm almost finished with The Darkest Minds, but I didn't really read it after yesterday's update. I came to the point where everything was going down and I got a little bit scared, so I wanted to take a little break from the book. I ended up choosing another book which is Out on a Limb, and this book is very popular. A lot of people have said really good things about it. A lot of the booktubers I've watched have said really good things about it, so I was really excited to read it. However, literally by the first chapter I knew that I was not gonna like it. I think it was just something about the characters and their banter. I heard a lot of people say that the chemistry is so cute, they loved it both, but honestly I just thought that it was so forced and their chemistry was really lacking. I felt like it was also supposed to be funny. I think Win was supposed to be a funny character, but a lot of the times her jokes just fell flat and she was just really whiny and annoying even from the first chapter. I really wanted to like this book because everyone else did, but I don't know, I just felt like the moment I read it I already knew that I wasn't gonna like it. I have a review on Goodreads, not the best review, but it kind of outlines the reason why I didn't really want to read Out on a Limb. And I do sometimes question, I'm kind of like, how come so many people love this book but then I didn't? I'm just like, is there something wrong with me? I think I'm also gonna DNF, like I haven't officially, but I think I'm also gonna DNF House of Salt and Sorrows. I just think that I'm not super motivated. I have not had the inkling to pick it up after I last talked about it, and I could already tell when we met the love interest that I was just not into it. I didn't care about him. I do think that the premise is really interesting, but as of right now I just think that the book is just not to my taste. I feel like I'm gonna get bored. I don't really like the dark atmosphere. I just want something a little bit different, so as of right now I'm gonna DNF that book. I'm still very much in a fantasy mood, but it's just like I don't know what book to pick, especially because I kind of wanted to read like maybe an urban dystopian fantasy somewhat similar to The Darkest Minds, but when searching up on Goodreads I couldn't really find anything besides the popular books that I've already read. And I think that there are some other series that I can start, but I want to get through all the series that I'm in the middle of right now before starting anything else. But it is Friday, which is the last week of uni. I actually do have uni next week, so not as fun, but it's mostly just in preparation for exams and everything, so I wouldn't really consider it class, I guess. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye! So a little epilogue. I just finished reading The Darkest Minds literally just then, and I was like, I gotta update you guys that I finished this book, and now I want to read the second book so badly, but I'm like, should I? Because I was gonna read another book, but now I'm like, I really want to read the second book, but you know what, maybe I just read the two books at the same time. I'm so desperate. I swear whenever I reread a book that I really like, I just love it. Like I eat them up.